Oh, Hospital Porter's Pride and Dignity Stop the New World Order. Welcome to Panwo TV. Well, I'm going to focus in on today's Mayan calendar date. It's now the 22nd December 2012, and it's now 5:23 p.m. The Mayan calendar changeover date officially ended at 12 noon. This was when the last time zone on the eastern side of the date line changed from midnight on the 21st of December to from 11:59 p.m. to 12 midnight on the 22nd of December 2012. Sorry, I'm a bit undone. I've not written any scripts for this video. I'm improving, as my daughter would say, who's she's actually a drama student at college, so this is an improv. So basically, the entire 2012 period, as I said at the beginning, is almost 50 hours long. That is now finished. Today's Mayan date, as you see here, it's 13:00:0001, 5 Imix, 4 Kankin, -1 days until then. So it's 1 day over now. And I think this is important because it makes you realise that, there's been no tsunamis, there's been no earthquakes, there's been no Nibiru, there's been no crustal displacement or any more of that bollocks. Alright? What's happened is that the Mayan calendar end date has come and gone without any obvious event. This is exactly what the Mayans said it would, and this is what exactly all the most credible modern 2012 researchers said it would. So I'm going to have a little bit of a rant now. This is the last part of my video, alright? I'm going to have a little bit of a rant about this. There was none of this bollocks about destruction. Even Beetlejuice didn't turn into a supernova in the end. As I said in my last video, there's no reason why it would. Now, Beetlejuice. So Ford Prefect is alright. I don't know how many... Do any of you actually ever seen or read the books of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams? If you remember, Ford Prefect came from a small planet somewhere in the vicinity of Beetlejuice. But we know now that his planet is okay. Anyway, I'm going to have a little bit of a rant now because I'm having a bit of a rant about the 2012 hoax website debunking the 2012 doomsday. Right, they just put up a thank you from Astro Geek, because this website's been running since 2009, and it's basically, as it says, debunking the 2012 doomsday, and they say a big thank you because the day has come and gone. There's been no trouble. Right, well, right, let's just have a look at this website, because I'm sure you've probably seen this. I think most people have. Don't be scared. 2012 hoax.org. All right. So, debunking the 2012 doomsday. So, who do they debunk? Well, firstly, they're very, very sorry about this lady, Isabel Taylor, a mother of teenage daughter. She hung herself because fear of 2012 doomsday rumours. Okay, well, I'm sure that's very, very true. So, they debunk people like Patrick Gerald. They debunk people like Nancy Leader, as I've said. All right, but let's just have a look at these. Let's have a look at the list. Right. This is the proponents of the 2012, which they debunk. Nancy Leader is there. Patrick Gerald is there. Okay, right. But in this very, very same list, who else do they have? Jose Arguelles is in there. Terence McKenna is on the same list. They've got Terence on there. Can you believe it? I bet they got John Major Jenkins. John Major Jenkins has some wild ideas about the Mayan 2012. What the hell? And they slag him off no end. Now, I'm extremely concerned when I see a website in which they include people like John Major Jenkins and Terence McKenna on the same list as Nancy Leader and Patrick Gerald. All I can say is, if Nancy Leader and Patrick Gerald are designed to be disinformation, well, they've succeeded, obviously, because I think it's pretty obvious that this is actually intended in such a way. Exactly, it's intended to put people off any 2012 ideas at all, are not 100% skeptical. And if you actually look through this website, Astain has done a lot of research on this website. She's gone through it like a fine-tooth comb. There's all kinds of other skeptical ideas about UFOs and ghosts. There's a whole list of ideas. You see, concerning, guest views. I mean, I'll show you links. There's all kinds of things to fill plates, NASA, all these other various general skeptical views. Now let's have a look at guest views. Right, these are the people who have contributed to the website, albeit on a guest fashion. We have Brian Cox, Coxie, old Knobbers Cox. I never did send him his doorknob. I'm sorry about that. James Randy, whoa. And down here, Nick Pope. Popey. We want Popey. We want Popey. And here we go, Penn and Teller. Right, well, these are the people who are connected with this website. And do you expect a fair hearing from people like that? Well, I don't know, Nick Pope's all right. But the others, do you expect a fair hearing from those guys? Neither do I. So, right, what's going to happen now? That's the question. Oh, well, it's all over, and there's been nothing major's happened. Now, the thing is, as I said before, the Maya never said anything major would happen. The Maya just said it would do this. It would go over to the next date, and here is the next date after that date, -1 days after. Now, the thing about it is, the Mayan said that, and so did all the most credible researchers. This guy, Jeff Stray, good mate of mine he is. He's the guy behind this website, Diagnosis 2012. This is his book, Beyond 2012, Catastrophe or Ecstasy, and he's written these books as well. Now, one thing you'll notice about the 2012 hoax site, you don't see Jeff Stray on this list. Now, why is that? I think it's because he's just too credible for them to debunk. They don't want people who are going to say the things he does, because you read his book, you'll realise that he understands this stuff about the fact that it's not about disaster and all that, end of the world, fire and brimstone, Roland Emmerich bollocks. But they want to tar all 2012 believers who are not completely sceptical with that brush. As I was explaining, that's why they have a list of all the proponents, and he puts Nancy Leader in with Terence McKenna. That's why. And Jeff Stray would throw a spanner in that works. That's why they've left him out. So, what's going to happen now? Well, as you see, Jeff Stray's website is still up. I think the 2012 hoax website will stay up. And the question is that it? Now it's come and gone. Is that the end of it? Is it all over? Are we just going to forget about it and move on to other things? Well, I don't think so. I hope not. I think people are going to be talking about this for some time to come. They'll be analysing the events of today and wondering about trying to analyse some of their effects. And as I've explained in this series of films, and also in my radio show, which I do recommend you listen to, with the interview with Andy Thomas, go to the description box, click that link, because that radio show will give you a lot of background. Really, you should listen to that, even if you don't normally listen to Panwo Radio and only watch the videos. It's certainly been a bit of a hectic day for me. I mean, this is why these videos are a bit late uploading. I've had a bit of a family crisis. I can't tell you any details. I'm not at liberty to do that right now, okay? But there's been a major family crisis, which is why I haven't uploaded these videos till now. And I feel there's some connection between what I'm going through personally and what Astain is going through personally and what the universe is going through, because as above, so below. I think these things are happening for a reason. Now, one thing I've noticed actually since I have started making these films is things have changed for me, and it's obviously this big crisis is a part of that, but also I've noticed time has started running slower. I noticed that yesterday after I did that Dawn film, and I did the 11/11 film. So it could be that this quickening that we've heard about, where time goes quicker and quicker and quicker leading up to the 2012, a bit like connected with Terence McKenna's Time Wave Zero. Maybe it's now reached that point and it's all gone zoop, and you've reached that singularity, that end point, and now the whole system has reset itself, so it's going to now go back to how it was, or maybe it's zipping back to how it was. I don't know. I mean, But one thing I've noticed is that the quickening seems to have taken some time off in the last couple of days. This may be because of the personal elements in my life going on with this crisis. We shall see. But one thing's for certain, I'm going to keep an eye on this for the next few days and the next few weeks ahead and see if it continues. See if this effect of time seeming to go longer continues. And as I said in my video, which I filmed last night, you know, people have been saying we're getting 18-hour days and things like that, you know, notional time. I've noticed a reversal of that process just in the last few hours and days. That's what I'm basically trying to say here, not very articulately. If that's the case, then I think that's significant. If we really do feel, and also, you know, when I'm walking around looking at things since yesterday began, they look different. Everything looks different to me now. I look at the houses and the trees and the things, I'm just walking, normal things. It feels like I'm seeing them for the first time. They look bigger. I don't know if it's bigger. I mean, it's a strange thing to describe things as being bigger. I think I've got to fall back on Plato and his description of the shadows in the cave. If you're familiar with Plato, he believed that the world was basically a projection. The universe is a projection of shadows. There's a fire in a cave, and things are dancing around the fire. Their shadows are projected on the wall of the cave. This is not too dissimilar, actually, from M theory, the modern scientific analysis of the universe, which I'm sure Plato will be very pleased. As I say in the radio show, you know, modern science often confirms what mystical philosophers from the past used to say. I just feel, I mean, it's a strange feeling. It feels as if these platonic shadows have changed. They're not the real thing. They're not the thing projecting the shadow, but they are. The shadow themselves have become clearer and more distinct with a smaller penumbra. I hope that makes sense to a few of you. I will keep you informed of this. I don't know for certain, because I've had this personal crisis in my life, you know, since this period began. I don't know for certain if I'm right or wrong here, but I think it's something to keep an eye on. It's something to be aware of. It's something, you know, if Terence McKenna was right about the quickening, and all these other people who've been saying we've been having 18-hour days leading up to 2012, and notional time has been going quicker leading up to 2012. Now we've passed 2012. Why shouldn't it slow down? But I think we've not stopped talking about 2012. People will not stop talking about 2012. People are going to continue talking about 2012 for a long time to come, and now analysing what happened today, analysing the effects of what's happened today. And those 2012 hoax people are going to have to keep up with that. I don't think they're going to be able to, because they're going to have to face the fact that most credible researchers understand that the 2012 hoax people are right about Nancy Leader, they're right about Patrick Gerald, but they're wrong about everything else. They're wrong to categorise the whole non-sceptical analysis of the 2012 phenomenon together. So I think that website's going to be, you know, they're going to find it difficult to hold their heads above water, I think. So where do we go from here? What happens next? Well, there's some people who had a commitment, an emotional commitment to some big physical, obvious change happening today, going to be very disappointed. Ian R. Crane once joked that we should set up a helpline for these people. I'm not one of these people, as I said. One thing that's for certain is that the Illuminati established themselves in the world with the first kings of Sumer around the time of 3114 BC. We don't know the exact date. We don't know if it was 11th of August 3114 BC, but it was around that time. And as I said previously, that's when history began. I explained this in detail in the radio show. If that's the case, then it's possible that they were under a deadline. They had to get their New World Order done and dusted by the 21st of December 2012 AD. If that's the case, then they've been way behind schedule. Many people have said they've been way behind schedule. Well, basically now it's too late. For 5 hours and 37 minutes, we've been past that time. And they haven't got their New World Order done, in which case they failed. The effects of that, I don't know. We'll have to see whether they're going to pull some kind of Goethe Dämmerung, just, you know, manoeuvre to destroy the world using the Large Hadron Collider or something to wipe us all out. Because, well, if we can't have this world, then you free humanity are not going to have it. Because, I mean, I've spoken more about this in detail in other articles and other films, but they have they have a very dog in the manger mentality, I think. And it's funny that the Large Hadron Collider has been suffering from technical difficulties. Maybe someone's intervening. You never know. I don't know what's going to happen. There's no guarantees of anything. All I know is what I hope for. And what I hope for is that in the future, in the decades and centuries and millennia to come, historians will look back on this day, the 21st of December 2012, the changeover of the Mayan calendar. I hope they will look back on that day and they will say, that's the day when everything changed. That's the day when, to quote the Tracy Chapman song, finally the tables are starting to turn. We're talking about a revolution. I hope they'll look back and say that's when we turned the corner. That's when things started to change and go right. Things started to get better on that day. We reached the pits and we started to go up. That's what I hope. I don't know. We shall see.